Yo guys, what is up, Crafter here, and today, Heavy Tanks tutorial. We're gonna go over everything that you need to know to be the best tanker on the battlefield. Alright then, so starting off with the basics, you need to know what are the differences between those three heavy tank variants. So starting off with the Assault Tank, which is the default tank that you get first in the game. It has the anti-tank cannon as a primary weapon, as a secondary it has the Canister Shell, and for the gadgets, it has the smokescreen and quick repairs. If you're not familiar with the game yet, smokescreen is basically a smoke, and the quick repair is the ability to repair yourself for the 10 HP instantly, but you have to wait for this ability to recharge, so you can't do this all the time. Second tank variant, called the Breakthrough Tank, has the same primary and secondary weapon as the heavy assault tank, meaning you get the AT cannon as the primary weapon and the Canister Shell as a secondary weapon. As for the gadgets though, the situation is slightly different here. You also get the quick repair ability, but on top of that, you don't have the smokescreen, but the drop of supplies for your team, meaning you drop them a med pack and the ammo pack. And the third tank variant, which is the Flamethrower Tank, has a little bit more changes than those previous ones. Of course, you have the anti-tank cannon as your primary weapon, but after the last patch, you actually get the flamethrower as your secondary weapon. As for the gadgets, you have the quick repair ability and the gas grenade. Alright, so these are the main differences between those tanks. However, I didn't go over the differences for the passenger weapons, but let me tell you, if you're gonna play with the heavy tank, you're 99% of the time not gonna get the passengers. They will hop in and hop out, they're not gonna help you in any way, because they will just not be patient enough to stick with you, since they will not have the ability to fire everywhere and they will be only limited to one side of your tank. And now the most important question, which variant is the best? So I personally choose between the Assault Tank and the Flamethrower Tank. I'm using the Flamethrower one in this whole gameplay that you're seeing in the background, but I'm just using it because it got patched and I was trying to test it out and how it works now. In general, the Assault variant is the best one out of all of them, since you get the ability to smoke yourself and just run away from your enemies. It is very effective tactic, and trust me, if you're getting under the heavy fire, you will need that smoke cover to back off, repair, reposition, so I think that this one is the best. Oh, and by the way, if you decide to go with the Flamethrower variant, just remember that the Flamethrower isn't that great. It works up to like 5 meters, and beyond that, it simply sucks. It doesn't deal any damage whatsoever, so just remember about that. Alright, so now that you know which one of the variants is the best, you actually have to know how to properly play with them. So the basics of beasting in the tank is to basically position yourself, and trust me, positioning is the most important thing that you have to do in the heavy tank. So, using the gameplay that you're seeing in the background all the time as an example, I always try to position myself in a way that I can only get possibly hit from two sides. This is very important, because the heavy tank is nowhere near fast or being mobile at all, so you can't really turn around quickly. You have to turn around the whole tank, and it takes so long, so you can't really fight enemies at both sides of your tank at once. Also, you probably noticed that I always take out the guys flanking or trying to get around me first. You have to take care of them all the time, since even if it's a sniper, you will get flanked, and there will be 4 assault players spawning on the sniper in a matter of seconds, meaning you're practically dead. Another thing that you have to remember about are stationary guns. Even if they are empty and you are about to approach the objective with multiple enemies, disable the stationary gun first. Trust me, there's nothing worse than the random recon player who will just shoot you and finish you off with the stationary gun because you will already be at the low HP because of the assault player on the objective. And that brings us to another important thing. You actually don't want to go directly on the objective before clearing it out from the enemies. And no, I'm not saying that you should be camping on some hill or in your base. No, I'm just saying that you need to keep some distance from your enemies, because you're not fast, you can't drive quickly, you can't turn around quickly, and if you get heavily damaged, you will only need a couple of seconds to be destroyed. Like, if you get disabled on the objective, you're pretty much dead. There's nothing that can save you, so just keep the distance before you clear the enemies from the objective and then approach. Also, it's the best to wait for your teammates to push with you so that they create enough distraction and you can just stay alive on the objective. Don't ever count on your teammates if you want them to take out assault players that are shooting you. This never happens. Like, you can only rely on yourself, and you always have to check angles that your teammates were on already, so that you don't get surprised by some random guy camping there. Oh, and by the way, don't listen to your teammates that are telling you to go straight on the objective. If you go straight on the objective, especially on the operations, you're gonna be dead in like 10 seconds and there will be no use from your tank to your team. Keeping this appropriate distance is a key factor to succeeding in tanks, and if someone tells you otherwise, he's simply an idiot who can't even get 30 kills in heavy tank in one round without dying. Another useful tip is to stop moving when you want to fire. Your shots will just fly a lot more precisely, and you will probably get the one-hit kill on that sniper shooting you with the K-bullets from 100 meters or even more. Oh, and by the way, if you are shooting the infantry who is running, always go for their legs. Even if you miss their legs, you'll get the splash damage if you hit the ground directly next to them, so it will be one hit kill most of the time anyway. Of course, I meant this for the AT cannon. If you want to go with the Canister Shell, you have to hit them in their bodies, so if you use the Canister Shell, just shoot them directly, like chest area. Alright, so now that you know how to position yourself, what distance to keep between you and the enemies, and how to shoot them properly, the last thing that you have to know is the general idea for the playstyle that I just presented. Keeping the distance between you and the enemy, you keep slowly pushing, clearing the objective from the enemies. If you get hit, you go back, hide behind cover, quickly repair yourself back to 100 HP and then go again. Your team will help you, they will follow you, and they will get the objective. This is a very simple tactic, but it's the most effective one that works in Battlefield 1. You can't go Rambo mode with your tank on the objective, because you are just too slow to turn around and take care of the enemies from every side. And that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something new. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, see you on the battlefield.